was basically able to talk and everything for the first, losing someone to COVID. How did it happen? I never met and mad to your honesty. Hi guys, I'm Ms. Gwen, also known as Braids_plus size tags. This is my baby Zuri. I wanted to share my story. Losing someone to COVID. You guys know New York was hit very bad. I'm from Brooklyn. I live in Brooklyn. I'm speaking from someone that had it. It's basically having flu symptoms. It was nothing of the sort. It was more of feeling like you were gonna die. My story was more of losing someone to it, which is my children's father. His beautiful little girl's father. And the father of my two other girls. Basically, I lost him to COVID on May 3rd, 2020. I thought he basically would get through anything. And I was shown that that's not the case. It's been hard, but I'll tell you guys the whole rundown. I had COVID, he had it, we had it at the same time. He lost his battle more so because he had asthma. He had diabetes, had high pressure, high blood pressure. He lost his battle. He was in a hospital for a month and approximately a week or two. Every day I would basically call the hospital, and the hospital that he was in wasn't all that great. Called every day, basically asking the doctors and basically seeing how he's doing and what's the difference and basically the treatments that he's going through and what can help, and basically ask him about certain things I've heard of. He was basically able to talk and everything for the first 2 weeks of being in the hospital. First 2 to 3 weeks. On the third week, he was sedated. And they basically put him in a ventilator. As you can see, she's going to sleep. He was put on a ventilator on the third week. The first 2 weeks, they had him on a BPAP, where basically to help him breathe in and everything else. Could still call him and talk to him, basically hear his voice, all of that. The third week, all of that was done for him. Couldn't speak to him, couldn't hear his voice, couldn't see him. Final weeks were basically me just calling the hospital to see how he was doing, because he was in a part of the hospital. We still couldn't see him physically. Even though when I went to the hospital the next day after he did, they wouldn't allow me to see him. But fast forward into him being in the hospital, can't see him, can't touch him, nothing. Then you hear somebody that you love dearly has passed. It's a lot. Be a mother of 3 and basically have to sit there and tell your kids that their father passed is like the hardest thing that I'll ever have to do in my life. I know I may sound like I'm babbling. I'm basically talking about it. I may talk about it in therapy because I do therapy. The wound is still fresh. Talking about him and basically the situation and just dealing with my 3 kids by myself and not having somebody that you basically so used to come home every day and help out with your kids. It's a lot. Some days I basically just break down crying out of nowhere. I have nobody that calls and check up on me. Some days it's my daughters that ask mommy, are you okay? In turn, I have to ask them, are they okay? Losing somebody to COVID was the worst thing, one of the worst things that's ever happened to me in my life, secondary to losing my mom when I was younger. Sometimes I just think of like words to associate COVID with. COVID is a bitch. It's honestly is Zuri, one of my 3 kids. It's been 2 months now since my children's fathers passed. Their father was a young man, he's only about to turn 33. I won't enclose his name, but he was my hero. He basically was the strongest person I knew. He gave me 3 beautiful girls. Him not being here and him not coming back, he won't be able to share the beautiful moments with our kids. She'll never get to know who her father is, other than what I tell her or what her family tells her. May 3rd, woken up to a phone call like around 12 o'clock in the afternoon from their grandmother. His pressure dropped and, his mental state wasn't there. About 30 minutes later after hanging the phone with his grandmother, I was told that he had passed. That was a lot. So for the past 2 months, I've been basically sitting here trying to live life. It's not something that I would wish on my worst enemy. COVID destroyed my family. The family that I had, my kids and their father, destroyed the family that we created. COVID destroyed my family. It destroyed the family dynamics. It basically took a major person out of my family that was so important. At times it's like, I'd rather have him than the money. I don't care for Social Security. I don't care for whatever money I may get from other places. I'd rather have him, to touch him, to hug him, for him to love on his kids. I'd rather have him or anything else. And I can't get that. COVID, honestly, it just came out of nowhere. Everything we know now, I wish we knew back in March. I wish that I knew how much washing your hands would help, and telling him constantly to wash his hands all the time. I wish he knew to show love to each other a little bit more. Spend a little bit more time with his kids. I wish that his kids would have got to hold him one last time. His kids would have got to kiss him on the cheek one last time and say, Daddy, I love you. I wish that we can go back in time. I wish that none of this ever happened. But it can't. Life has to go on, but at this time and place, I don't know where it's gonna go on to. I don't know how it's going to feel. I don't know how my children are going to feel. I know that it's going to take us time to heal. How much time? I don't know. But to lose somebody to COVID basically means that there's a hole in your heart. Because I know there's a hole in mine. I know that I feel lost sometimes because I lost my best friend. I lost somebody that I loved. It's really hard to deal with, go through everyday life and trying to make yourself seem like everything is okay. To basically sit down when you're so used to somebody walking through the door. When you're so used to somebody walking through the door, putting their keys in the door every day at a certain time of night. And to know that that person is never coming back. It's hard. It's honestly hard looking around in your house and basically every little thing reminds you of that person. And to know that they're not here anymore. And so people, I ask you, just be safe so you don't have to go through this, because losing somebody to COVID is hard. The last thing I told him was I love him. There were so many other things that I could have told him, as in, your daughter started walking, she started running. I really wish that he was around to see her birthday, her first birthday. He died the 3rd, her birthday was the 14th, to turn 1. And it's no way that I'll feel, I can't say there's no way that I won't feel complete happiness, but at this moment, no. I lost someone in COVID that was strong, that was a hero. He was kind, he was loving, he was daring. He was a fun guy. He was a father, a son, an uncle, and all the things just like anybody else. And now he's not here anymore because of COVID. Like every day on Facebook, I see everybody's out with each other. They're drinking, you know, around places, different places, or whatever the case may be. No mask. Every time I go outside, I see people with no mask. This shit is real. And I don't know how to explain it any other type of way but to tell people that it's real. Like, it's serious. Wear a mask. Yes, I understand we're wearing a mask. You're inhaling the same carbon monoxide that you're breathing out. I get it. But wear a mask. Do anything possible that's going to keep you safe.